problem or make up one. Let's say we want to borrow whatever, that's the principal, and whatever interest rate you can think of. Possibly if we borrow money as low as possible will be nice. And how many months, how many years you want to repay the loan. Principal, what is it? And I'm gonna record that too.
24,300.
24,000 for the principal, very good. The interest, the annual interest rate?
5.1.
0.051. So please remember, indeed, 5.1. That's fine, 5.1%, but it has to be used, converted into decimal numbers. Good. And how many months or years, basically? How many years do we want to keep the loan for?
3 years.
Okay, so we want 3 years, so it has to be 3 times 12 because it's specified that n is number of months. So this is 36 months. So then I will copy the formula, and I will punch in what you gave me. 24,000, long fraction line, 0.051 divided by 12, 1 plus 0.051 divided by 12, and the power is n, which is 36 months. I'm going to see this in a second. So 1 plus 0.051 over 12, and everything raised to power 36 and minus 1. So let's look at the formula for a minute. Not a minute, hopefully just a few seconds. And now let me explain how we entered this in the graphing calculator in order not to make mistakes. The 24,000 stays outside. That's perfect. Now, we always need parentheses for the numerator and parentheses for the denominator. You could possibly omit these because this is a product. It's the product of this times this. You could, but it's safer to have parentheses always around the numerator and another set of parentheses around the denominator. This is only for the calculator purpose. Okay? Now, please remember this. If you do not put parentheses around this division, the calculator will do this. Will take this, divide by this, and then multiply, which in this case it's correct. But I highly recommend, remember this is a division. So it happens that this is okay, but not all situations will be okay. Okay, same thing here. You could get away without parentheses, but I will put all these parentheses in my calculator. So this is a division. It has to be done separately. This is a division. It has to be done separately. I'm preparing you for something like plus something, and that is definitely needed. Then the parentheses are definitely needed. So you could get away with some of these, not putting them in, but I'm preparing you for all contingencies. Okay, so this is a division, so you have to make sure the calculator does this, adds 1. When it completes this calculation, it raises this to the 36th power. It subtracts 1, but then this is completely separate from the top. The same thing here. Okay, so now with your permission, you can turn off your cameras because I want to record the screen. So I'm going to go to share screen and this. And I want to record this, how to enter it for everyone to, you and other students. Okay, so let me clear all this. Okay, where is my video here? Record on this computer, yes. Okay, so 24,000. Left parenthesis for the top. Then another parenthesis for 0.051 divided by 12, close. Open another one for 1 plus, and then the division of 0.051 divided by 12, close. Close again, caret. I like all those powers in parentheses, but this is okay. You don't really have to for the power. Come down from there and close, and this is done. The numerator is completely done. And now we divide by parentheses for the denominator, parentheses again for 1 plus. Now, 0.051 divided by 12, close the parenthesis, close another one, caret, you know me already, I love my parentheses, come down from there, subtract 1, and close. So now make sure that all these parentheses have pairs. See, this with this, this with this, this with this. When I click enter, I will obtain what is called the monthly payment for the loan. And this is for 36 months. So when I press enter, I get 720.38. $720.38. Now, if I want to see, if I multiply this by, you don't need to, you're not asked to, but let's see how much we pay in addition to returning the 24,000. We have to return it. So I'm multiplying this by 36 months. How much am I ending, and how much I end up paying in 36 months, in 3 years? I paid $25,933.66. If I subtract the principal that I have to return, what is my cost of the loan? My cost, net cost, is $1,933.66. Okay, so this is the cost for the loan. Okay, I'm trying to stop my video, stop recording. Okay, so I can post this after class too. So be careful how you enter it. As I said, you may be able to get away with some of the parentheses because it's a product and so on and so forth. But to be on the safe side, these should be separate. Of course, this has to be because you have to add those, raise this to the 36 power, and then you subtract 1. If you don't put 1, with all this actually in parentheses, then the calculator will divide this by this, and at the very end will subtract 1 instead of having it in the denominator. Okay, other questions for me? Is there anything else we need to go back to? Do we all understand this?
Can I ask a question from the enhanced homework?
Any question from anywhere? The answer is always yes.
Number 6.
Okay, number 6, where is it coming from?
I can read it to you. It's, okay, f of x is 1 over x plus 2 in parentheses to the second power. So it says find, and in the numerator, it's got f parentheses x plus h and parentheses minus fx all over h.
We talked about that, right? Find the difference quotient, right? You don't have to tell me anything else, right?
Well, you got to plug it into this formula.
We talked about it
Yes.
last time, right?
Oh, we did. Shoot, we did. Okay, I'll rewatch it.
No, it's a different function. We have to work on that problem. It's a perfect question. But this is what we talked about last time, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. That's all I was going to say.
Yep, that's the formula. Yes.
That's a perfect question because we have not looked at the rational function. Okay. So in order to find a
I
difference,
struggle with
yes, of course.
fractions.
Yes, so let's do that together. Very good question. Thank you so much. So remember the difference quotient formula. You have to remember this. If you don't, and if you have to look at this, then we're not making too much progress, right? So moving forward. So this is f of x plus h minus f of x divided by h. So we know that this is the difference quotient. Perfect. So we know that this piece is given to us. I know it's a 1 over x plus 2 squared. I know that this is the simplest tiny little piece. I can't do anything to it. How can I further simplify h? It's simplified already. So the only thing we are missing is this piece. But for rational functions, it's easier than for quadratic. For quadratic functions, if you remember, we needed all this stuff. To simplify, so I can put it in the difference quotient. But for this one, there is no need. I can immediately write what that represents. Can anyone give us this? Anyone?
I can try.
Everett, sure, please, of course.
Is it x squared plus?
So the function
Oh, you're plugging that in. Okay.
is given to us.
Hmm.
Anyone? Mariana, will you help us? Mariana, are you with us? Hello?
So you would put the f of x into the x.
I cannot put f of x into the x. So what does f of x plus h mean? Okay, so let's talk about that for a moment. So if you give me this function, let's say, let me tell you what I see. I see this. So if you ask me to plug in 2, I'll plug in 2. If you ask me to plug in 5, I'll plug in 5. If you ask me to plug in 0, I'll say sorry. I cannot do that. But if you ask me to plug in x plus h, I'll plug in x plus h. Who cares? Just tell me what to plug in, but don't tell me 0, because I can't. 1 over 0 is undefined. So in this situation, what will I get? My function is 1 over x plus 2 squared. What will I write?
You would write x plus h plus 2.
That's it.
squared.
That's it. That's all I need to do. So when I'm given a function, this is what I see. This is the function I see. F of whatever is 1 over whatever. This function says f of whatever is 1 over whatever plus 2, everything squared. If this is 5, I have here 5. If this is x plus h, I have here x plus h. Whatever. But again, don't give me -2. If you ask me to plug in -2 here, I'm going to say, nope, this is the only one I can't, because I have 1 over 0. So coming back, this is what we want. Coming back here, 1
Why
over.
is the h squared in that?
Say it again.
Why does the h get squared?
Okay, so let's take a look again. F of x is 1 over x plus 2, everything squared.
Mm-hmm.
So now this is x plus h. H is not squared. H squared would be something like this. So this is x plus h.
Okay.
This is not
I was
h
plugging
squared.
it the other way. I was plugging the f of x into that formula versus
But that's
putting the
why
x
I'm
plus the h in as the x.
that's why I'm explaining how to look at a function.
Okay.
So if a function is, for example, quadratic, then this is the whatever. So if the whatever is x plus age, then I have x plus age everywhere x is. So why did we do this last time? Because the function was f of whatever equals whatever squared minus 8 times whatever plus 2. So when we determined f of whatever, but whatever is x plus age, then we replaced x by x plus age. We replaced x by x plus age. And then we performed all the calculations to simplify it.
Okay.
So this function is no different. Right? So I have here x plus age now that this is x plus age. So it turns out to be x plus age plus 2. But this does not mean that age is squared. The whole thing is squared. And when we square something like this, x plus age plus 2, everything squared, please remember this is not x squared plus age squared plus 4. This is x plus age plus 2 multiplied by x plus age plus 2, and that it has 6 terms. Actually 9, I'm sorry. It has 9 terms. X times these 3, age times these 3, 2 times these 3. They will end up being smaller at 6, but initially x times x, x times age, x times 2, age times x, age times age, age times 2, 2 times age, 2 times age, 2 times x, 2 times age, and 2 times 2. So initially we have 9 terms. Okay, so back here to our situation. So we have x plus age plus 2, everything squared. So now the question is, how do we subtract these two? Because this is age over 1. We have to subtract these two fractions and then flip 1 over age.